Hello and welcome to Let's Get Growing. It's Jo Swan here, the educational gardener from Bulwell Forest Garden, and we are, by the time you see this, I think we'll be in mid-September. So yeah, autumn's here. It's got cooler, it's got wetter, but it's still nice and there's still lots of things that we can grow and lots of work to do with our packs. So we're going to start, without further ado, we will start with this week's packs. So you should have a strip of antirrhinums, or as they're more commonly known, snapdragons. So these are biennials, so we're going to grow them now to flower next summer. And who doesn't love a snapdragon? So what I'm going to do with these, because they're still quite little and I'm not quite sure, probably they will end up in a big pot together like the ones that I did out there, but for the time being what I'm going to do is to just pot them on, and I know they need potting on. I can just show you. Get them out. So they've filled their little modules. They've got like a good root system, but to get the best out of them, it'd be better if they went into some bigger pots. So I've got a small pot, but it's deep. Bit of compost in the bottom, put my snapdragon in the middle, try not to disturb it, compost around it, and then press it down. And then, as you've seen me do before, I'm just going to pinch out the top two. Well, I've got three there, tiny leaves, but they'll be okay. So I'll do that with the other two. And they are hardy, so they should be fine over the winter, hopefully. Pinch that out. That's to get it to bush out. Okay, that's the snapdragons. Now the next thing you should have in your pot, again, it's a delphinium, which is a delphinium, which is again a biennial or a short-lived perennial. So again, we're growing this now to flower next summer. Now, as we're making this video, I know that this doesn't need repotting because I mean, you just potted it on a few days ago. But the way to check is just to have a look. See if you can't see the root system, gently lift it up. We can't see any roots around here, so it doesn't need repotting. You just have to make sure, keep the slugs and snails off this one, because when they first start growing they're very susceptible. Okay, right, and followed on by, so we're on to some like things to eat now. So with these things we were thinking about sort of a bit of colour for the garden and some flowers for the bees, but now we're thinking about our stomachs again, as usual. So there's not loads of things that we can grow now at this time of year, but there are some things, and one of them we could just get a quick, because it grows very quickly, we might get a quick crop of, is radish, and this variety is called Bright Lights, so it's all different colours. They're just little round radishes, and after I'm inspired by the success of the carrots in a pot, so I'm going to have a go at doing some radish in a tray. So I've just got a mushroom punnet, put some compost in. I've got a little clump of seeds. I'm going to use my finger and my thumb of my right hand because I'm right-handed. I'm just going to try and spread them out thinly. That should do it, and then I'm just going to cover them up very lightly. Press them down. Some of my seeds are poking out, just push them down. And I've got my label so I know what they are. And then you've got one more thing actually, because I was quite inspired by the Odette lettuce, and this is on it's been cut twice already, and I just think that's fantastic, and you'll probably get a quick crop of that. or you could even have it on a windowsill, but it should be alright outside at the moment. So again, same principle. I'm going to do the seeds a bit thicker this time than the radish, because the radish are roots, so they need a bit more room for the roots to grow, whereas this one I'm just growing in a tray as a living salad that I'm just going to leave in the tray. I'm not pricking it out. If I was going to prick these out to plant elsewhere, I wouldn't put half as many seeds in here, because I'd just be making hard work for myself. Okay, I think that'll do. Again, just a light covering. And hopefully if the weather stays mild and damp, then these will probably be up in a few days' time. So that's the Odette lettuce. So all of these I will water with a watering can with a fine rose on, so I'm not washing them out. So we're going to have a look now at the previous packs. So I mentioned the Odette lettuce. So I've cut this twice already, so this is the third time I'm going to cut it. So I'm just snipping its tops off. I don't know if I'll get another crop, but I'll leave it out of interest to see. So I've got a nice little clump of lettuce there. I'll put it in that pot. So we'll see if that will regrow out of interest. We'll see how my radish is getting, not radish, rocket, same family, brassica. So these are the rockets. I cut these last time, if you remember. And I'm going to do the same thing again, which seems a bit harsh, but oh, amazing. We'll see what happens to them. So I've got two basils here. So that is the sweet basil and that one is the lemon basil. So the sweet basil, well, I think they both would respond to going in a bigger pot. So I'm going to go for this size up. So the lemon basil, I only did this last time, so that was 2 weeks ago. And I pinched out the top, and it's done exactly what I wanted it to do, which was to bush out with these new shoots. And look at its root system there. So I think it's worth me putting this into a bigger pot. So I've got a bit of compost in the bottom, and then I'm going to turn it, tap it. I'm not going to disturb these roots. I mean, I could tease them out gently, but I'm not going to do anything too harsh with them. I'm going to put it in the middle of the pot, put my compost around it. Make sure I'm not doing it too deep. Press it down. So lemon basil, I don't think I've actually eaten lemon basil before, but I'm going to try it. So I'm going to pinch these out again. And I'm going to put these little bits that I'm pinching out in with the salad stuff. So that just needs the water. Looks happier already. But remember, both of these basils are frost tender plants, so they're not hardy, unlike some of these other plants that we're growing. So you would have to, if you want to keep these through the winter, I mean, I'm not going to, that's really filled its pot. So this one is more kind of pot bound, so I'm going to have to do a bit more work on its roots here if I want it to grow into its new pot. So yeah, they're both frost tender, so I'm probably just going to grow these in the polytunnel as long as I can, but you could try keeping them on a windowsill if you have a big enough windowsill. What else have we got? The chives. Chives don't look that happy. Let's see what's happening. They're alright, they've not filled the pots. I think what I'm going to do is snip the tops off them, see if I can encourage a bit of growth. The hollyhock! Look at the hollyhock. It's really gone for it. Let's have a look. Yep, ready for a new pot. So what I'm going to do with the chard is, remember it had tried to bolt last time, so I chopped it down and it did respond by putting these new shoots out. These ones are a little bit chewed, something's been nibbling on them, so I'm going to cut them off. I'll probably compost them. What else have we got? We've just got, oh, there's the parsley, flat leaf parsley. Now I'm going to put this into this size pot, next size up pot. It's not absolutely desperate, but it does grow quite fast. I'm going to take off some of these bigger leaves, and that will stimulate a bit of top growth again. I won't waste them, I'll put them into the pot. So that's my flat leaf parsley. So the only other things in here to talk about, oh, there's the strawberries actually. So I've got 3 strawberry plants because I propagated some out of the ground. What I've decided to do with these, because these are like growing really fast and doing really well. Not quite filled its pot actually, so it's not desperate, but I've decided I'm going to put 3 into a big pot. So just to save on compost, I've got a bit of homemade compost here. I'm going to put some of that in the bottom. Put a bit more. It's quite rough, but strawberries won't mind that. Put a bit of this compost on top. Then I take my strawberries up. Whoop! That one hadn't grown quite as much as I thought. And the thing again to remember with strawberries is not to plant their crowns too deep, because if you do, the rots, especially over the winter. So make sure they're just sort of standing up above the surface, above the level of your compost. Put my label back in and give them a water. They look good. I'm going to put them outside. So, talking about outside, oh, the last 2 things, sorry, before we do that. So the cayenne pepper, I've got 2 peppers and they are red, so I think what I'm going to do with them is I'm going to harvest them. Okay, it's getting very busy out here. So as predicted, the cosmos, the white cosmos, are still going, so hopefully they will continue. What you could do is deadhead them, keep them producing until the frosts. And then this was my snapdragon pot, remember, from last time, and some of them have gone to seed, but some are still flowering, so that's good. Ooh, I just got a very stinky wet foot then. And the courgette, so I wasn't really expecting great things from this, remember the pot's too small for it, but I have got a courgette, so I'm going to cut that off because I don't think it's going to get much bigger. Baby courgette, pretty. So that was the pansies that were in your pack, and with some TLC, that's what they look like. Very pretty. Remember I put 3 sweet williams into a big pot together, and look at them romping away. So they're for flowering next year, but they're already sort of got new growth on them, bushing out. So I think that's the main things to talk about. The rosemary is massive in there. I don't think its pot's big enough. I think it's grown into the ground. It likes all that sun. And there are other plants hidden amongst here. The ornamental poppies sort of made an appearance back. I didn't really like the hot weather very much, but perennials do, you know, with a bit of rain and the right conditions, they will jump back. That's kind of proof that perennials will jump back into life when conditions are suitable for them. And I think that's it for this week's pack. So happy gardening, and if you've got any stories, any success stories, or you've got any questions about anything that's not working out for you, then please get in touch with us on our Facebook page. We'd love to hear from you. Okay, so thanks for watching. Bye.